Hello and good day, everybody. I'm Joy Holt, and this is Monday with the Mayor, and we're in Ferdinand today, and I'm here with Chris James. Hello, Chris.
Hello, Joy.
How are you today?
I'm doing well.
Very good. Your town is surviving very well, it looks like.
We came out better than locations to our north. We had between 5 and 6 inches of rain Friday night through Saturday, depending on whose rain gauge you look at. A lot of rain in a very short period of time. The last time we really had a rain like that would have been early April of 2014. I'd been on the job about 3 months when that hit, and we actually had more issue then than we do now. We had a stretch of rains, especially in 2014, that it highlighted some areas that were not drainage friendly. And we've done a lot of work on the town side, and then some of our corporate neighbors have done some revamping of systems, some of it as a direct result, some of it as just helping out neighboring properties with the drainage. And those measures have helped out a lot. Now, it's not to say that there wasn't some higher waters during that brunt of the rain, but we didn't have as bad a situation as what the lower part of Jasper's had to deal with, or sections of Mayor Spinnertown where they had the high water in certain locations. So we, knock on wood, we came away best of the three, I guess you could say. A lot of rain in a short period of time tests all systems, and even if it's a brand new, fresh out of the box, so to speak, stormwater drainage system, that much rain in that short a period of time, it's going to overwhelm any system, no matter how good, how old it may be. So we're fortunate to come away as unscathed as we did, and hope, cross fingers that we don't, karma doesn't come back and pay us a visit down the line to say, oh, okay, Ferdinand, you're feeling full of yourself, so here. So we'll take it a day at a time and hope for the best.
Well, good, yes. So you never, rain, water is the most powerful thing, yes. I can't even imagine dealing with it. But you guys stood the test of time, so good for you.
So far, so good, yes.
All right, so let's talk, speaking of water, let's talk about your water main project you have going on. You want to fill us in where you guys are at?
Right now, the Missouri Street project is underway. Quality Craft Construction, they were the low bid earlier this year, and they did the asphalt cutting work the last week and a half. Started at 10th Street and worked their way down to 5th. We had a pre-construction meeting where we sat down and went over the blueprints just to make sure everybody was speaking the same language in terms of how to connect, where to connect, and things of that nature. We found 2 or 3 places where we were able to simplify the reconnect process so it wouldn't be as time or equipment consuming, a simpler process that will still be very efficient and effective. And Quality Craft has started on that. I mentioned they've got the asphalt cutting done, and they started up at 10th Street midweek last week and have started on that first block of digging out the trench, putting in the new piping, getting it bedded and filling it in, and they're going to work steadily from 10th down to 5th Street and get through all of that. Once we get to 5th Street, there is a fire hydrant that will need to be moved, partly for this project, but partly for our community crossings program that goes through there, where a sidewalk will fall. That hydrant would have to be moved anyway, so we'll get that out of the way, redo some of the valves in that location that have been a little bit weepy. That's the water term for it. They'll get those rectified, and hopefully it's a 4-month contract, but hopefully in a much sooner period of time than that, we'll get all of Missouri Street completed. And we are still in the bid spec process for Virginia Street. The bids on that will be open 8 o'clock next Tuesday night, May 9th, at our regular council meeting. So for those contractors out there who might be thinking about it, we actually had a meeting on that last Tuesday where we just kind of went over the parameters of the project. So we had a handful of individuals in for representative companies. So even if you weren't there, we still have spec books here at Town Hall and copies of the plans, so they can buy those, study it over, and decide whether they want to go forward or not.
So that's for Virginia Street?
That is for Virginia Street.
And bids are on May 9th?
Yes.
Okay. And so how many feet of water line are you guys going to try to replace this summer?
The actual footage, I'm not sure. I know it in blocks.
Oh, sure.
From 10th to 5th is the Missouri Street. Virginia, I believe, runs from 17th to 13th Street.
Okay.
And then there's a what I call sort of a side shoot project on 16th where we're constructing a water line on behalf of Best Home Furnishings.
Okay.
A couple of years ago, they were in the process of constructing a new facility on their property, and they were informed at the time by their insurance carrier they needed to find an alternative water source for fire protection. They're right now get their water from one area. That's not to say it would not suffice, but if it was a big fire or it used a lot of water, it would just kill pressure to everyone if they actually had to turn everything on. It would also lower the water in our water tank on that end of town. They approached us and said, would you be able to run a line coming off the opposite side of our properties into that? And we said yes. And so we kind of went from two separate projects. We just kind of smushed it into one regular project. So they'll benefit off of that. Folks who live along that stretch of 16th Street and any of the folks right now on Virginia and Missouri, a benefit. You get newer piping, they're going to see an increase in their water pressure. Maybe not huge amounts, but it'll be better than it was. So it's a win-win in that regard. But obviously the 16th Street project benefits Best. They'll keep their insurance people happy. They'll have the adequate fire protective services. They'll have two water sources, so they're not just killing pressure on one side or the other. They'll be able to blend it together and work that way. So we're happy to help them out with that. And should any company that has that need, we'll work with them on as a town as much as we can to help them out. So it benefits the town and it benefits the business as well.
Yes. So, okay, with the replacement of all these water lines, how long has it been since you've replaced water lines?
Well, we've been replacing water lines off and on. 2 years ago, we did Missouri Street from 13th to 10th, and that was done in-house. Our water department and our electric department are the same three guys, the superintendent and the two regular workers. We're down our superintendent right now, and it was decided by council last year in agreement with the superintendent at the time to bid it out because they could work on a stretch of one block, but then they get called off to an electric project or there's another water issue in another part of town. They kind of have to pack up where they are, leave that set, and go take care of the other business. This way, whoever the low bidder is, they're the ones that do the work, which frees up our department guys to do sort of their day-to-day business and not be running from one spot to another or trying to prioritize, okay, which thing do we do today? They can focus just on routine things and let the bigger projects fall into the hands of outside help.
So how old, I guess what I was asking was how old are the lines that are being replaced?
Some of them,
30 years?
some of them are close to 100 years of age.
Oh, wow, so you guys are doing good things.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah,
that's
this
great.
is a much needed.
Yeah, okay, great.
But yeah, a lot of the piping is in the 80 to 100 year age. So.
And are you guys working on to replace all the lines in town that are this old?
The majority of the oldest lines have already been replaced in previous years. I mean, there are still going to be certain sections just for logistics that haven't been messed with because of higher traffic area or some other issue that are still older, but those are sort of on the internal radar. We know where certain places are that are problem areas. We've put together sort of a 5-year plan, and there are certain streets that have had lots of maintenance visits by the town that we're going to. East 3rd Street is one of those within the next couple of years. That line's going to be replaced out because there are spots along there. They would go in, repair a leak, get it all fixed up, blacktop patched and everything, and then come back in a month or so because it sprung a leak just in front of or just behind where the repair was. We've been kind of piecemealing it as best we can, but that's on the 5-year plan to get that done and just do the whole swath, and that way avoid as many of those issues as we can for as long as possible in the future.
Okay, that sounds great. I am so glad to hear you guys have got a lot of water line work to do this summer. And just for to make it clear, you are bidding these projects out.
Well, the Missouri Street has been bid and the work is already underway.
But the next one is coming up.
Virginia Street, we're still accepting bids
Okay.
on that up until 8 p.m. on May 9th.
May 9th, okay.
And usually we see a flurry of activity that Monday and Tuesday.
Okay.
Folks wait till the last minute to get the very best price on
Sure.
material or labor, and then they also figure out what other jobs maybe they've bid out for, if they've gotten them or not. And then that'll let them know, we're going to be plenty busy. We don't have to do this one, or we didn't get this project, so we're really going to sharpen
Right.
our pencil and try to get this project.
It's
So,
like an exciting auction. I love it when you guys are accepting bids. If I'm here covering something, I'm like, ooh, yes. So,
Well,
all right. So
next
May
Tuesday.
9th and on Tuesday, May
Yep.
9th, Tuesday, accepting bids up until 8 p.m.
Yes, ma'am.
Virginia Street Project. Okay. Well, thank you for joining us today. I appreciate it.
Oh, glad to do it.
And I look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks.
Yes, ma'am. Week from Tuesday.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Joy.
This has been Monday with the Mayor, and I'm Joy Holt.